going on, guys? JD at JD's Custom Buggies, working on a number 321. Used to be like I guess maybe a Days on Raider or some single seat thing, but they're all pretty much cookie cut. They looked the same at that time. Got a couple of things done. We got our arm mounts in for one, and we have our basically our steering wheel mount, or hoop, or dashboard, however you want to put it, but that's going to be the brace for the steering wheel. So we'll start with the AR mounts. Like I said before in the previous video, I have those two 1 1/4 square tubes there, and I welded those in instead of round because I get a straight angle. You know, they're straight, and it'd be easy to mount the tabs in, which are made out of angle, and I, you know, make sure that they're pointed in the right direction. The hard part was the angled mounts on the back mounts, because they're going to be V-style shaped A-arms like on that Crossfire. I just pulled that out for point of reference. The whole thing is they're at an angle, and I have nothing as far as a point of reference. It's just round tube and everything. I have two sides. They got to match up. They got to be as close to possible as being exactly the same. And the hard part about building on these buggies is from the factory, they're not super straight. You take different measurements. I mean, I used to take different measurements on Earth Dogs, and I could have 3 frames and get 3 different measurements from like point A to point B on particular pieces of tube in the frame. So what I did, I had this hoop that they put here from the factory that was originally there. So I got a nice flat piece here to go with. Cut 4 pieces of angle, cut the angle that I wanted it at. I figured it out, and put them at, you know, an angle so I could lean this piece of angle that I made the tabs out of back on there and get the same angle on both sides. So I tacked these into place when I made sure that they were where I wanted them to be on both sides, and then took a couple measurements, leaned this back, made sure they were flush with that, you know, with the piece of angle on the side there, and that laid them back at the correct angle on both sides. So from all my measurements and taking a level to it and everything, they seem to be very, very, very close, if not perfect. I hesitate to say perfect just because, like I said, on these frames, it's really hard to get perfect. You're almost left with the compromise of, you know, what looks good, what is good, what's straight, what looks straight. And when you're welding on stuff that usually isn't pretty straight. So next was the hoop for the steering wheel. So I wanted something that looked kind of cool, you know, gave the buggy some shape. I opted to go with 1 1/4, just because I figured that particular mount is going to get stressed out, you know, and I didn't want any bend or flex to it. What I did was I wanted to tie this whole thing into the frame. So I wanted to tie the front clip that I built into the frame in another way instead of just being welded to the places where I cut off. So put these two 1-inch pieces to tie it into the 1-inch frame here, and then took a 1 1/4 and tied it from here to here, which now the front clip is tied into the hoop, which is tied into the frame. So I figured that would strengthen everything up and shore everything up. Still going to do a little something with the cage. Haven't decided yet. It hasn't really hit me. And then we're going to do something here for a fuel tank mount and a little bit of cage work and tie it all in. So that's where we're at right now. Starting to look like a little something. Not sure where I'm going to go now. I might start working on arms. I have to sit there and see what kind of hits me, or, I mean, not that it matters. It all has to get done. It's just a matter of where my mind is today and where the flow goes. So I want to thank you for tuning in, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I try to answer all the questions I can. If you just kind of run across this thing, you like these kind of Chinese buggies, the one, you know, the GY6 buggies, the 150s, go ahead and subscribe. And until next time. Thanks a lot. See you.